if at
nearly
all,
impossible.
if at all, yeah. Whatever. It is what it is.
We do it for fun, man.
Yeah.
That's
I
the only
mean,
reason.
yeah. It's one of those things where like I started and
You're recording right now?
yeah, I just started it. And thanks for tuning in to the Block Is Out podcast, brought to you by the 900 Block.
Let's go.
Today I have my buddy Artin, aka Derias. Derias.
Derias. So actually, I don't know if you know, it's a part of my last name.
Yeah, on Deriasian.
There you go.
Did I say it right?
Yep.
Hell
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. When you live in Glendale long enough, you're familiar with Armenian names.
Should we look?
Wherever you want. Look there, look at me.
This is recording?
That's recording. Yeah. Yo. And the audio's on, everything's gone, so it's all good. Yeah, we were just talking about before we kind of hit, I think there's going to be some of it already in the tape, but the profitability of being in the industry and how was it something like you started and you had the intention of like you wanted to become something, or you kind of knew in advance like I'm just going to have to do it for fun?
You mean like doing my own party? Or
yeah, like the business
being a
end of
DJ.
it. No. I would. I guess I would say probably doing the party first. Did you DJ first, or did you do the party first?
DJ.
You just started DJing first, and then was that what was the like? When did that start? Because I've known you since high school, and I don't know when did that like even start.
Well,
I didn't even know you were in this scene.
We went to the same high school.
Yeah.
How about middle school? Where'd you go?
Roosevelt. Where'd you go? Wilson. Yeah. Clash.
The party thing, it's something that I always talk about with my cousins, who are my partners.
With Vector.
With Vector.
Vector LA.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vector LA. We've been around for like 6 months, so we're still fairly new.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about it for years. My partners are close to my age, 27, 28. And the cool thing is actually they own a couple of nightclubs.
Yeah. That's very cool. That's very convenient for just wanting to get into the industry.
Yeah, so we had like one leg in. So, I actually quit my job about almost a year ago, and we the everything just came together, and we're like, let's just do this.
What are the clubs that they own?
Giggles
in Glendale, which is fucking
Reggaeton,
huge.
man.
Yeah, huge club. I mean, that club's been around since I was in like middle school or
Yeah,
elementary school. That club's even longer,
forever.
right?
Yeah.
Jesus, and they focus on like Spanish, Latin.
Oh yeah,
reggaeton.
it's not our music.
I mean, it's not. So, I mean, how did they like? What was their decision to kind of get house music integrated into that, knowing they already had like their? Base?
I mean, so their dad has been running the place for like the last 20 years, I believe.
Okay.
And he saw a market for the Latin salsa, reggaeton stuff. But
I mean, especially in LA.
Yeah. But my partners and I, we're into the same type of music, so we're like, let's see what we could do and try to bring the scene to Glendale, which is almost like Mission Impossible.
It's tough, dude. It really is. We used to host at Cure in the Cause, which is right across the street from Giggles, funny enough. And it was good because our whole the guy that owned the place, Kenny Summit, he owns Good For You Records, like an old OG head. He used to really try to integrate house music, and he saw us as like, well, we're Glendale natives, so maybe it would help to get us involved. And for the most part, it was fine, but it was like really tough to get like enough people to where you're really having like a successful like above ground.
It's not easy, man. If you're not in, I feel like if you're not in downtown or Hollywood, it's tough.
Yeah.
But what can you do, man? You just gotta try.
Yeah, I mean, we tried. We had like pretty decent parties for enough time, and then eventually, we got more into like the underground, into the warehouses. Yeah. That whole setup they have with Vector, they built it for. It was already there.
If you go to Giggles on the weekends, if you ever want to get down. You came when we were downstairs, right? Yeah.
That's the first one.
That's the setup.
That's what I'm saying.
We blocked off like almost 70% of downstairs.
Damn, that's a huge space.
It's massive.
Yeah.
You can fit like 1,300 people down there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What do they want to do with it now? Because I mean, is it kind of like because they have the whole lighting set up, everything? Are you
on the weekends? They're open
pops off there.
Upstairs and downstairs.
Got
yeah,
it.
they get
as the Giggles would I get done.
They get like they get up to like 1,500-1,600 people.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's
people
nuts.
come from like everywhere. Then it has to be
all outsiders.
Yeah. Damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
I guess you guys club was going to be built as an extension of Giggles. You wanted to do house music, and then was it kind of just like you saw? I mean, obviously we were just saying how tough it is to get that crowd there, and then you guys moved it to downtown to that. What was the name of the spot?
Elevate
to
next to Takami, the sushi lounge.
Beautiful place.
it's cool. So that's also theirs as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
Jesus.
yeah, we're
Talk about
like I said,
you got a whole body and a half in the door at that point.
Yeah. So we had the connections with the venue, so it's been cool.
Well, yeah, you own the venue.
They do, yeah.
They own the venue.
Yeah.
And if they're partners with you in Vector.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's good, man. That's good to have that backing of them. I mean, you have a guaranteed space.
No, we're super fortunate.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So we saw all these things and we're like, we already have the infrastructure. Mm-hmm. We have all the equipment. Let's just do it. Yeah. I have pretty much like the connections in the scene since I've been involved. So it all came together.
Yeah. And as you were DJing beforehand, when did you even get into like house music or the DJing, or how did that start with you?
How did I get into house music? Wow.
I mean, not house music. What did you get into like deciding to want to DJ? Because I've been into house music for like years, and it just, for some reason, DJing never really appealed to me. And I can work my way around CDJs and vinyls and all that stuff, mixers, but I just never took the leap to do it.
So the way I sort of got started, I've had like some parties in the past. For the last like 4 or 5 years, I've actually had like my own desert party.
Oh, okay.
Super intimate, low key, maybe like 50, 60 people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I scout a location on Google Maps, and we just go out there and
tight.
have fun for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends are all DJs, like Armin Miran, Pat Hodge, all those guys.
Yeah,
the Armenian
dudes. Yeah, I mean, I also noticed too with like the Armenians and like the Middle Eastern and like the people you're associated with, and that sound, they have a very specific sound, much different to like the disco, much different to the techno, and it's a great sound, and I think it works for the following that they have and the culture in the city. So that's like definitely to their benefit.
No, sure. I mean the sound is great, but it's nice to also change things up once in a while.
Of course.
Yeah. But Armin Miran called me one time. He's like, "You want to spin a pattern bar?" This was like 3.5 years ago, and I was like, "Sure, let's do it." And actually, that time was popping. Like I've probably never seen pattern bar that packed. So that was my first time, and I played the whole time, 5 hours.
No kidding. He's like, "Hey, you want to play?" You're like, "Yeah, come here." You're like, "Hey, you're playing the whole night."
Marathon, yeah. No, it was great. No other way to get thrown into it.
Yeah,
5 hour set.
Was that the first set officials that you played?
Yeah, at like a public place. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So
how
then
do you
after
even
that,
like prep for that? Did he give you the heads up at least, like, hey, you want to play all night, and then you just load your USB with enough songs?
I mean, I've always been DJing and playing music. I mean, I like to consider myself like a musician, aside from DJing and stuff, because I've played piano my whole life.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So I actually think I'm a better like musician, piano player than DJ producer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So after that first gig, the door opened, and I was getting calls for some other stuff. I did the Le Jardin, La Vibe thing a couple times, which was cool. But what's cool is like I never forced my way into it.
Yeah, it seems like everything was kind of organic.
It just all came to me.
Yeah,
and I've kept it that way. Like I've never wanted to like force myself into it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always let it be, like you said, organic.
Yeah. Do you think that's kind of helped, or kind of maybe it's like prohibited, or like
I'm not trying to make it big. I'm not trying to be a professional DJ.
Sure.
I just do it for the passion and for the music. That's it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Not a lot of people have that in them, and I feel like that can only help your skill.
A lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. Yeah. A lot of people, especially in LA, they're just doing it to get the Instagram followers. But that's when you know who's real and who's not. Yeah,
I mean, there's in our scene in LA, a lot of people do it. For the wrong reasons. They do it because a lot of other people. I don't want to say everybody DJs, because that's not true, and I don't want to put people who are DJing in any sort of like negative light. Because if you're doing it and you're actually trying to push yourself and push your brand, more power to you. But in the back end, we know a lot of people not everybody should be DJing.
No,
that's the thing that's kind of sucks, and it's hard to.
I mean, like since I've been musically trained for like my whole life, DJing isn't too difficult to me. Mm-hmm. But for someone that really doesn't know the fundamentals of music
Right.
and electronic
nuances,
music, like it'll take a second.
Yeah.
So you gotta do your due diligence.
There you go.
The 100 hours of practice,
Yeah.
being a bedroom DJ, if that's what it takes.
House parties.
Constantly
bedroom
putting out, house parties, put mixes on SoundCloud, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it for the right reasons, if you're doing it for fun, if you're doing it because you actually have a passion, then you never know.
Yeah. What's the history behind that like 100-hour thing? Because I've heard many.
Just anything that you want to become good at. Isn't that the rule?
I've heard so many different things for that.
100
I've
hours?
heard 100 hours. I've heard, I think it's like 1,000 sessions or something like that. I don't know if that has to do with sports or it has to do with DJing, or I don't know where I heard that, but I've heard that the law of
Let's go with
100 hours.
100.
Okay, 100 hours works for me. That's fine. I haven't DJed anywhere near 100 hours to even watch it. And I feel like if I were to like want to start doing that, it just you can kind of see that it's like, all right, you're just DJing just to.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, I'll admit it, I'm trying to do the whole producing thing. My problem is I'm super picky,
Okay.
and for me to like put something out there for other people to listen to, it's gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
For me to actually feel comfortable to
Putting
post
it out as yours. Yeah.
But I've been working on some stuff for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But as far as like DJing other people's music, I'll be the first to admit that like I feel guilty doing it at times because it's like I'm taking other people's hours and hours and hours put into something to create something, and all I do is either
mix it in,
illegally download it or buy it.
Right.
Buy it off Beatport.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of producers personally that have the same issue where they're like they're mainly DJs and they want to become more producers because it's more of like an artistic expression of yourself because you're putting the work into a song that you're creating, and a lot of them are super not scared, but they're very like hesitant because they really want to put out the right sound, they want to put out the right work.
And that's the thing, like I don't want to just put anything out there because I want to find my own sound. Yeah. And that's tough.
Yeah. Has DJing helped you kind of steer you into a general direction, I would assume? Like the sound that you DJ, if you were to like start producing a track, it kind of has the same nuances as...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like there's been times where I've listened to a track and fall in love with it. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can produce something around this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's different. It's all situational. It's whether like you hear something, you want to do this, or you find a sound. Like I have a couple keyboards at home that like I find the sound. I'm like, okay, let me build something around this. So it's all situational.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured with like producing, I mean, I have Ableton, and to even, I feel like you just have to, again, doing your homework, you have to know what you want to do before you kind of just go in there and start like, oh, I'm going to add this and add this. And
but it's also fun to just go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go into it blindly and see what happens. That's where the fun's at.
Yeah.
My problem is like when I start producing or I start DJing at home, I'm always just playing on the same time. So I get caught up in that. So I'm like, DJing something on my CDJs and I'm playing, and I'm like, wow, this sounds good.
Right.
But that takes away from actual production because it's just me like fucking around in my room.
But I mean, it sounds like that could, and maybe because you're saying like, hey, that sounds good, that could even maybe turn into like a little rhythm that you have in your head, and you're like, I could actually tie that into the producer.
Yeah. And if I get to the point where I'm producing and playing my own stuff, I definitely want to play live. I'd rather not like just produce something and spin it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that seems like that's a whole nother level of pressure. That's a whole nother level of musicianship. But again, you're a musician from the core, so
that's my passion.
Yeah,
that's my passion.
How long have you been playing the piano?
Since I was like 4, 5.
So you started young, and you were one of the few people that actually stuck to it.
So I'm like classically trained.
Oh, okay.
I could like read sheet music if I have to, but I'm actually better at playing by ear.
Okay.
So if I can hear something, and after like 2 minutes, I'll.
Damn, that's wild. I mean, I know with like pianists, it's the left and right that you're operating at the same time. I played piano when I was young, and I'm not classically trained, but I can read sheet music better than obviously if I can hear it. There's no way I'm going to be able to play that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
again, I'm not. It's on and off for years.
It's funny because like my parents were pushing me, and at the time when I was younger, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I stopped when I was like 12, 13ish. But I had a keyboard in my room, and you know, when I had free time at nights, that's when I like picked it up.
Right.
Like, holy shit, I like this.
Yeah.
This is cool.
That's good. You're lucky, dude. You're really lucky to have like had that. Even if that keyboard wasn't in your room and you had stopped at 11 or 12, you could like. I mean, granted you have it, and you'll always kind of have it. But if you hadn't had that there, you could have just lost that skill.
Yeah. I was in some rock bands.
No kidding.
Yeah. We didn't go anywhere. Had
Wow.
like a couple of gigs, but.
What were the bands called?
Fuzzy Dice.
Fuzzy Dice.
Yeah.
I didn't think I heard you guys.
You probably did not.
no records, no tours.
Oh no, nothing.
Was it just like a?
We had one.
Band?
We had like one. It was like an Armenian genocide commemoration performance at Glendale High.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Didn't go there.
There's a lot of bands from high school that I knew that kind of did a lot of those Armenian genocide like commemoration stuff.
Yeah, it was just for fun with a couple of friends.
Yeah. Would you playing the keyboard?
Yeah.
Is that the only instrument you play?
Yeah. Keyboard, piano.
Got it.
Yeah. It was pretty epic actually during the performance. It did like a, the slide.
Sick.
And it was like an old wooden piano. And it was at the end of the song.
Yeah.
And my finger got cut. So like as I was like waving to the crowd, I didn't realize there's just a bunch of blood pouring out my finger.
That's
like, this is
badass,
epic.
though. Yeah, that's bad. You're in high school too. You're like, damn. War wound.
Yeah.
Yanni wound.
Yeah.
What would Yanni do?
Yeah.
Yanni would probably still play over it.
Yanni is not
Yanni
the
the
he's not.
pianist.
I know, but he's not the. No, that's Andrea Bocelli. Never mind.
No, he's a singer.
I was gonna say if he was blind, he couldn't.
Oh. No, Yanni would have seen it.
I have a stupid sense of humor.
That's most people.
Speaking of my sense of humor, I brought something.
Okay, what'd you bring? I'm dead curious. We got gifts, or maybe not. Maybe just a presentation of.
You
something.
can keep it.
No, it's no need. It's just. What is this?
The block is hot.
Sick. What does this do?
Just don't touch it. It's hot.
Oh, okay. All right. This is just to represent that the block is hot.
The block is hot.
Tight. It's blue though.
Yeah.
But isn't the
I didn't have
blue,
time to spray
the blue
paint.
part of the flame is the hottest part?
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
The block is re-hot. Re-hut. Whatever. How'd you guys, who came up with the Vector name? Was it, you were telling me it was like the...
Yeah, so you've been there.
Yeah.
It was all inspired by the lighting, actually,
Okay.
in the downstairs area. We had that V shape going. So like, okay, let's see if we can come up with something that starts with a V. And then Vector made sense because, like, in math, I'm not a mathematician, but in math, it's like when all the shapes and directions, like, come together or some shit.
That's a vector.
Yeah.
Tight.
And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It's people coming together for a common passion. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us with the 900 block is literally just because we lived on the 900 block of Glendale.
No way.
Yeah, every time we'd walk over, or every time we'd drive over the bridge, I would drive over it. Because me, Narek, and our old partner, Sev, it was the three of us that started it. And we all lived within, like, 2 streets of each other. So every time I'd pass by the street, I mean, over the bridge, I would see 2 900 block Western Avenue. So we were trying to come up with names like when we first started. And again, this is like we were talking about like profitability. When I first started it, I didn't know anything about house music. I didn't know anything about the scene. I just wanted to start throwing parties for homies.
You guys been doing it for 3 years?
3.5 years.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's so funny, dude. When we first started, I was like, my vision of the party was like, I was looking through tracks to like, what should we play at the party? I didn't know that's how little I knew about DJing. I wanted to like, hey, this song would be tight during the party. This song would be tight. And they were house music tracks, but that like I didn't know that we were just going to hire a DJ and he was going to come and spin his own stuff. I was like, okay, we're going to play this song. It was
fun looking back, right?
Dude, it's coming along. I mean, a lot of people I don't think know that about like starting in the scene when you kind of don't know what you're doing. It's tough to like.
Always a learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we learned it. We picked it up pretty quick, and it was, for me, again, I had the whole, this was back in, 3.5 years ago before I even knew anything. It was like the Insomniac and the bigger shows, and you were just like, hey, like I want to get to that.
Yeah.
Only you don't realize that it's going to take 20, 30 years to maybe get to that.
I mean, I can't say shit. I've been doing this for 6 months. So.
I mean, that's you started, but the thing is, like, you're starting and you already have a leg up because you already know, you already understand the scene. You already have all these like connects, like the Subculture guys and Armin Miran and all these people. So it's like that's great to start something now. And if you can start it now with good intentions and knowing the right people, you can actually like hold your ground.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But kudos to you guys, man. 3.5 years.
Thanks. Yeah,
that's no joke.
It's been 3.5 years.
It's
like
a big commitment.
82 events. So it's
that's
like
crazy.
1 every 2 weeks for 3.5 years. But it's been great. I mean, we just fell in love with the music, fell in love with the scene. So I quickly learned that the financial aspect of it is not going to come quick. So that's why I didn't quit my day job, you know. But we kept to it, and it was one of those things where it's like we quickly decided that like, hey, we don't care about the money. We don't care about the money. We just wanted to build a community. We wanted to get as many people involved as possible. Both Narek and I don't DJ.
Yeah.
So it's whatever we were like curating was for the sound for everybody else. It wasn't for us.
And now you guys have like a couple resident DJs, right?
Yeah, we have Stefan, Stefan C and
it's
Michael.
Stefan. Not Stefan.
No, Stefan.
All right.
Yeah, it's French.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, a lot of people call him Stefan, but Stefan and then Michael Pham. It's funny, Michael Pham, Mikey Pham, Mike Pham, that he's had his name messed up on so many flyers. It's like a joke within like our circle. It's sad because people will like, with us, whenever we have like a flyer, for the most part, we send it to all the artists first. We get their approval. Everybody has to check it out. Everything looks good. All 4 of us are looking at all the flyers. Every once in a while, there's like a typo that we miss, but almost every time the crew that puts out his flyers, they just put it out. Like, I don't know if they send it to him or they don't send it to him, and they put out like Mikey Pham and.
No, I'm like you, man. I have to,
wild.
make sure everyone approves, everything's right. And still with that, I've made a couple mistakes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we
had
had
the wrong date or something.
Yeah, we've had the wrong day, we've had the wrong names, and even after, I think it's like we sent it to the artist and the artist must have missed it too, and then we got it, we missed it. We posted it in like a couple days later. We're like, hey, how did nobody see this?
Yeah, it's all about attention to detail.
Yeah.
But stuff still, goes by you.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of information and sound overload with us in the scene. How do you deal with sound overload, I guess I would say, to start as a DJ and producer and event coordinator?
It's tough. There are times where I'm like super overwhelmed just from hearing sound. I listen to different genres of music to help me.
I think that helps comment.
For sure. I take like a couple days to I listen to a lot of ambient music.
Same.
No beat, just sounds.
Yeah.
The classics, like I love Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, and I listen to a lot of jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never got into jazz. No, it doesn't do it for me. I have ADHD, so when I hear jazz, sometimes I just get more anxiety.
Really?
Like, okay, it's a little too.
No, I'm a big jazz guy.
And fast pace and.
I mean, you can listen to the fast stuff, but the slow stuff is also super elegant and sexy if you're into it.
That's the opposite end. It's too slow for me because then I feel like. Ugh.
Yeah. No. I mean, for me, growing up, like my dad was constantly listening to like Miles Davis and John Coltrane, so that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
From a young age, like I was always listening to that sound. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
So now I have a deep appreciation for jazz and what it takes to be a jazz musician, because those guys are actual fucking musicians.
Right. Totally.
They're insane, like the way their brains work. But yeah,
a lot of music with jazz is like even off key sometimes, or it's off tempo.
Yeah,
that's fucking tough.
There's no sync button.
Yeah. Is that a common thing with DJs? Like I haven't really, as far as like the people I know a lot of people that don't really use it. I've just heard that joke, like don't use sync. Does that happen frequently with a lot of DJs, or like the younger? Bucks,
I mean, it depends. Like if you're actually like, if you get caught off guard and someone's trying to like talk to you while you're trying to mix and you realize you got like 30 seconds left.
Got it.
It's the lazy way of DJing, I guess, to put it.
So you hit the sync button and it mixes in.
It's lazy form of DJing.
Got it. And
then a lot of people, they haven't had a chance to like fuck with the older equipment. But there's no sync button.
Yeah.
So they're just spoiled. So like the newer versions of the CDJs, they have the sync light.
Just like right there.
All the time, yeah.
Got it.
But everyone's different, you do you.
Yeah. If it works for someone, and I think there's like that's that kind of artist and that kind of it's only gonna get them so far. And it's like if someone is really dedicated to becoming a DJ,
exactly,
that's not gonna get you there.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Like you have to fuck up on them. Like if anything, I've talked about this with the guys. Like we almost enjoy it when we hear the DJ fuck up because it's like, hey, he knows he fucked up. That's him doing.
He's working on his craft.
He's working. Yeah, exactly. He's working on it. Usually, we'll hand someone a shot when they fuck up. Always, especially
That's
our
amazing.
guys. Forget it. As soon as you slip, you see someone running from across the bar with a shot. Hey, here you go.
Yeah, because I feel like you got two types of people on the dance floor: the people that don't care and they're just there for the music.
Right.
So if music's good,
right,
they don't care. They're gonna be dancing. And then you have the enthusiasts that are like a hawk, analyzing every move.
Yeah.
So. It is what it is. That's just the nature of the scene.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part.
I feel like it's kind of changed more. The number of people that kind of don't know what they're talking about compared to like the enthusiasts is starting to really kind of shift because of.
Well, I feel like the people that don't know their shit now can sort of just bullshit and get away with it too.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't even try to pretend like they know what they're talking about. They just like to go to the parties. They have a lot of friends that DJ. They have a certain genre of music that they kind of like prefer. So they'll go to those events and they're just there in attendance. But it's like the people who are starting to actually kind of like, oh, I'm going to start DJing, even if it's bedroom DJ, which again, if you're fucking willing to get in front of people.
Yeah, you do you.
And you fucking do it, more power to you.
Exactly.
I couldn't do that. I would feel like if I got up there, granted I have like no practice, but if I were to get up there and try to like put it together, I would feel like I'm putting on. And maybe that's just me and my personalities. I feel like why do that unless I'm like ready to really give it 110%, just like we were doing with 900 Block. When we first started, it's like, why would we just get together and kind of just have a party and call it a day when we could really like focus on the marketing, focus on the brand, focus on the sound.
You have to be committed. If you're not committed, then you're just half-assing it, and what you're putting out is a half-ass product.
It takes away from everybody else that's in the scene too, though, that are really trying to put in their work.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to just focus on yourself, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally good to network and meet new people and meet the people that are in the scene, and attend as many events as possible. But at the end of the day, like, if you're trying to do something and you have a vision of where you want to take your particular thing, you just got to focus and stick to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with DJing and with hosting your own shows, do you still try to attend as many shows as possible, kind of thing?
What's funny is that I'm like a old grandpa at heart, so I get tired really easily, and like my friends can attest. Like at house parties by like 1-2 o'clock, if I'm not like spinning, I'm passed out on the couch. Yeah.
Well, for me, I've always came with like go early, attend early, leave early.
Yeah, I mean it's situational. Like if I'm in the mood to go out and dance, I'll go out and dance. But if I'm tired and I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna go out and half-ass like my listening experience.
Damn, that stuff. I don't even remember the last time I felt like I'm gonna go out and dance. I feel like the only time that is if I'm buying tickets to see someone specific that I don't usually see in the scene.
Yeah.
But if it's like, I mean, if we just have so many friends that like host because we're so integrated in the scene. There's just so many friends that DJ, so many friends that host, and you want to support all of them. And I want to try to be at everyone's shit as much as possible, but I fucking can't because the energy that I have is just only so much.
And you work a day job.
I work a day job, and
it's not easy,
dude. I work a day job. We do the 900 Block. I try to attend the shows. They've nicknamed me DJ NyQuil. Like if I was trying to come up with like something, I can't. I really can't. And I try, and I think if people understand that about themselves, they don't burn themselves out. Because this scene is very hard to get like lost in. Because there's something happening Monday through Sunday. It's not like, oh, I'm going to wait for Friday and Saturday. During the week, you kind of rest and let your body recover. People are just out Monday fucking every night.
I'm reluctant to say it, but there's a lot of degenerates out there. But I love them.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them.
Who do you mean degenerates?
People that are at every single fucking party.
Yeah.
Every party. They're party degenerates, but in a good way.
I mean, they're just in attendance all the time. And I mean,
I don't know if degenerates is the right word, but hopefully you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, what's keeping them up what's keeping them there. What's
cocaine.
keeping them, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Cocaine, ketamine. I mean, I can't fuck with that. I tried coke for a while. It was just not even for a while, like just a couple times, and I had like this worse like allergic reaction to it.
Really?
It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. I would like. I've given it a try, and then for like the next 3 or 4 days, like this was even like a couple of years ago. It's been years since I have, and I would be out for like 3 or 4 days.
No, it's just crazy. Like I see people that are at like every party, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it's like
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday.
How do you do that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That? I don't know. I'll never understand.
Kudos to you.
I mean, kudos to fucking everybody in our scene. It takes a lot. It takes a specific kind of energy and a specific kind of like love for the music, and I think that's kind of something that's innate in everybody that's in the scene. Is whether you're someone who's heavily involved in the drugs, which is I think a big problem in our scene, or
so that's a good point. Like I feel guilty sometimes when I'm up there like playing music for other people and they're enjoying themselves, whether they're sober or fucked up. But it's like I usually don't play fucked up. I have like a drink,
sure,
and that's about it. I've played stoned a couple of times and I can't
not
concentrate. No, it's not for me. But it's like I'm bringing out this behavior in people,
right?
And it's sort of like a guilt that lives inside of me. So it's like my friends are partying and getting fucked up as a result of me playing music for them. I don't know if I like that or not, but
I don't know.
It is what it is.
No, I don't even think it's something that like you're causing them to do that. You're providing maybe a space. Your intentions are not that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your intentions are to provide the music. You love the music. You love the DJing. You love the craft. You want to provide, I mean, with Vector, you want to provide your own contribution to the community, and whatever your friends and whatever people want to do and however they think that that's how they need to hang on to it, that's on them.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know this. No matter what you do, there are going to be drugs at a party.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to hip-hop shows and there's drugs. I mean, we're in Los Angeles. There's going to be, this is like a super highway for half the shit that comes out.
Yeah, it's a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always been a part of our scene specifically. I think there's been more awareness brought to it lately, for sure, from what I've seen, than there was before when I first got into the scene. Because when I first got in, maybe I was just ignorant to the fact that all of it was going on because I didn't hear anything about it. Nobody was really talking about it. I knew people were like fucked up. I didn't know what they were on. I didn't know, maybe that was just me being ignorant, or maybe there was just nobody was talking about it. And then as you get more and more involved in the scene, you kind of see it from a different perspective, and it's kind of scary. It's kind of like,
it's very scary.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. I think there is more awareness now.
Yeah.
Because, shit's happen. People get fucked up and stuff happens. So I think it's great that there's more awareness now.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's keeping people kind of like to second guess themselves, and it's not even so much putting people down. It's just, it's one of those touchy topics where people, I think, didn't talk about it because they felt like they were putting other people down.
The thing is, if once in a while, if you want to take something and stimulate yourself,
sure,
I think that's fine. But for you to go to every single party fucked up, then I think, you should sit down and look at yourself in the mirror. Like, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
For me to go out somewhere and listen to the music, it's 90% for the music.
Right.
Because I want to go there, listen to someone, express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to necessarily take anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's like a good trait of mine. Not everyone can say that, because I've seen people that like they just can't go somewhere and be sober.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah.
But to each their own. I mean, just don't die. Just
it's just
everything should have a limit.
Yeah.
Everything. You're right.
Oh
shit! Careful.
That touched it. It's too hot. I mean, yeah. It's again, even saying that is kind of like, it's like they don't die, but it's like that happens, and like people need to know, like, it's okay to. It's hard when you're consistently getting fucked up to like go and somewhere and be sober, and you're automatically gonna feel like that's not the same. Like, yeah, no shit, it's not, because you're not stimulated to the fullest extent that your body can possibly like fry yourself to do. And to go there and kind of tone it down is really hard. really hard.
Well, hopefully that's when you have a good support system that can step in and tell you that, yo, watch your shit.
Yeah. Have you seen like a different sense of community from like the genre that you and like that you kind of focus on compared to the techno and the house music, the disco, compared to?
What do you mean?
Like the communities, like a lot of times I've been to certain parties where I just feel like people are there for show. People are there just to kind of
be a part of the scene,
and then there's communities where people go and you see like everyone's dancing, everyone's having a blast, everyone's talking to each other. It's different.
The best party I went to in the last like 3-4 years was recently, like 3 years ago. 3 months ago, sorry. 2 to 3 months ago. Giggling was in LA.
Giggling.
You never heard of Giggling?
Never heard of Giggling.
They're
Gold Link, but
no, they're a German-based label. Everything that they put out is like super exclusive, but anytime they put out something, it's gonna be good. So yeah, from Germany, they were throwing parties all over, and they did one in LA. The vibe was just so perfect.
Yeah.
I cried. This guy was spinning. His name is Dwig. His name is Ludwig, but Dwig. Dude, I was on another planet. Oh, yeah. It was so good, and everyone there was just there for the music.
Were you elevated?
I was good. No, I was.
You're
I was
good.
good.
Okay,
yeah.
So for you to be good, and then for it to still brew up.
Oh
that
man,
much,
it was something
good,
else.
Because if you would say no, I was lit, and then it's like, okay, well,
hold on, let me
fucking think. Defeats the whole purpose of what we're talking about.
No, I was good.
You're good.
I was clean. Yeah.
I mean, a few drinks is okay.
Yeah, I had a couple of beers, obviously. But no, I mean, it was just so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you were saying like this is a label, and I think that's also something that's kind of very tough to do. You're saying like no matter what they put out, it's going to be good. Like how do you even get your brand to be that? And I feel like a lot of people, like when they start, I mean, we've seen a lot of collectives like come and go, a lot of parties come and go, and I feel like they just don't have that. And even for our brand or for your brand, that's something that everybody kind of wants, is to, no matter what they put out, even if you've never heard of an artist, because we try to bring people that are overseas that have never been to the States before.
Let me tell you something, though. I feel like no matter what's put out, there will always be someone out there in the whole fucking world that can relate to it and will like it. Whether it's absolute shit or if it's really good.
Sure.
People will always
gravitate to it,
find it and like it somehow. But with that being said, like, that sound that label releases, it just fully resonates with me. Everything that they put out is like, oh, wow, this is next level stuff. Probably other people don't feel that way.
Sure.
Like, there might be releases that they're like, okay, this is cool, but then the next one, they might not feel the same way. So, everyone's different. My taste in music is probably pretty different from yours.
Yeah.
But that's the cool part.
There's always, that's another thing about LA, is that there's always something for somebody.
Exactly.
So but that makes it a little tougher on people who are like promoters like ourselves that have brands that we're trying to promote, because there's so much going on. People have everything to choose from. If you produce a couple of events that really don't hit, your name can it doesn't hold that same substance.
But, that's the risk that you're taking.
Yeah.
What you're signing up for.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing this a while at this point, so it's like.
And you know what? Like, even if you have a down night,
everybody has a down.
Everyone has a down night. I don't think that should put you down. Like, the people that attend the party, they're not just going to be like, "Oh, fuck this shit," They're just going out for a night.
Yep.
So, the next time you do something, if they're able to show up and, they want to come back and they like who's performing, they'll come back.
Yeah.
And if not, it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. I mean, there've been a lot. I mean, we've had parties that haven't been like crazy successful, but the people that were, I mean, I guess it's not even so much crazy successful, but like massive attendance. But the people that were there, the music that was there, the way we produced it, the way we took care of our people and our party, was everyone was there, had a great time.
Yeah.
And that's what's more important to us than necessarily focusing on like increased profitability and what could we do to get da-na-na. Because I mean, that's definitely something that everybody strives for, because if not, then what are you doing it for?
It is a business that you're trying to run. So if you're not business minded, you're gonna fail at some point.
Yeah.
If you're just doing it for the fun and don't even give a shit about like the financials, at some point you're gonna run out of money to keep doing these things,
or you just keep shelling out of pocket and you're just in the negative long term. Which, I mean, I've gotten a lot of flack for that before, where a lot of times, I mean, again, I don't DJ, so there's only so much of that part of what we do that kind of has me drawn to it, where I'm focusing a lot on the business and I want it to be a successful business long term. So a lot of people, I think, don't get that. And again, we've seen a lot of parties come and go, and I feel like a lot of people go big right out of the gate and they just dump a lot of funds. They just expect this big boom because they have all these names on, and it's a dud, and then they just decide like, oh, okay, it's not going to work, and then they just kind of disappear.
Persistence is key. I mean, for you to come in and throw like tens of thousands of dollars into one event and it doesn't work out and be like, okay, I'm not going to do this, then perfect. This is not for you.
Exactly. Totally. And I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of scary that even people are able to do that.
People have money, man.
Yeah.
We're in LA.
Yeah. People own clubs and shit like that, you know. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Not me.
Yeah. No, it's
actually, my goal in the next couple of years is to buy property.
Like housing?
No. Like buy a nice piece of land and like by Jade Tree or the Yucatan Valley. It's pretty cheap out there.
Yeah.
So I want to buy something, a couple of acres, and over time build on it. Whether I want to host gatherings or events, or just go out there and chill for a couple of days.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Do you want to get it with like property already on it, or just like
nothing,
vacant land?
Vacant, and just build myself.
No, that's tight. I mean, that's a goal you have, that all of this that you're doing is to support that. It's not like you're putting all your eggs into one basket at a young age now, where it's like make it or break it.
But even with that, it's not me throwing all my eggs in one basket. It's just me doing something that I want to do because I've always thought it would be cool to do.
Yeah. I mean, property is always a good idea.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to like buy a house for the longest time. Again, same goal in the next like 3 to 5 years to buy. Yeah, for real. I don't know if it's buying a house. The buying the vacant land never. I just didn't get it. I don't get it, because I feel like building it is gonna take even. I mean, depending on what you want to do with it, it might take
nothing
like
crazy. Maybe like a little tent.
Yeah,
sort of like what the 2B1 guys do. Yeah.
That's a great party, man. Yeah. That was one, I think it was the first one. I went to the first one or the second one that they hosted, and that was the full testament to starting small and growing super large.
Yeah, because like I said, I've been doing this with my buddy the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's sort of become like a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy like a 4 or 5 acre place for like $10,000. It's not that expensive.
Not much at all.
Yeah. So buy it. It's yours. My crew, actually, we have like a dome that it's a geometric dome that we've all invested in. So anytime we go to festivals and stuff, we take it with us and build it. But it's like, okay, we can house this thing and put it in my property. I don't know. It's just something that I thought it'd be cool to like at some point do.
Are you guys trying to like, let's just use 2B1 as an example, like turn that into that, or are you guys just doing it full homies? And
no, I mean, if I have the land, I think it would be cool to host.
Do you guys do it at a different place every time? The one that you're talking about that you do?
Let me see. Yeah, it's been a different place every time.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot different. Because I think even with the 2B1 guys, I think they lease that space. I mean, they don't own it. It's a dry lake bed.
Really? I heard it was theirs.
That's not what I heard. I heard they lease it. But I mean, that's just, if they own that property, I would think they would do a lot more with it. I mean, that's a full dry lake bed. It sucks. The last time we went, it rained the day before we got there.
No way.
So half the basin was wet, was literally soaked. Like, we couldn't go in there, and they had to move everything to the side. So it kind of
Mother Nature.
Yeah, it kind of took away from the experience a little bit. I mean, it added its own element to it with the water, but it was just not the same.
We did one last year in Painted Canyon, which is close to like Bombay Beach, Salton Sea. It's like 20 minutes away. Such a perfect spot because you're in a canyon, and it was like sand.
Do you have like a permit to do that, or you just show up?
It's on BLM,
Bureau
of Land Management, which we were scoping out on Google Maps. BLM land, if you're not familiar, basically means like it's free range. You could do whatever you want. I mean, obviously, don't go out there and don't have like a fucking 300-400. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because then you're an idiot.
Immediately, my train of thought goes to like, oh, if it's an open land, you can do whatever. let's throw a fucking big party there. But yeah,
you might get away with it.
Yeah.
But we had like, I think like 50, 60 people.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But we had like a solid lineup.
Yeah.
Armin Moran was there, Pachach, me, a couple other people. It was cool. It was fun for a couple of days.
Yeah. Do you what's like what do you guys got coming up with Vector?
We're working on some stuff for the summer. We're trying to do like a little summer series, but that's all coming out in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned.
For sure.
Yeah. Still finalizing the details, so I don't want to say something and
right.
it doesn't end up happening.
It doesn't end up happening. Yeah, that's happened with us a lot. Where I mean, not a lot, but like you talk about something so much, and then you kind of get a few people hyped up about it. Word spreads like fucking wildfire in the scene, and then it doesn't fall through, and you're like, that's not good for the brand. But
yeah, we got some summer plans.
Where can everybody find Vector? Where can they find your music? Where you at? Social media,
oh, man,
SoundCloud.
What's our? I should know this.
What the fuck?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Pause. It's like Vector_LA, I think.
Or Vector.LA.
Oh my god, I run the social. Do you run your social?
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's
a pain in the ass.
You just need content.
But you got to do it.
You just need content. I think if you have enough photos, videos, stuff to talk about. I mean, even if there's no like event coming up, or I've learned like if we have like old photos and you just kind of want to highlight the history of, for us it was Hideaway. I once did like just a slideshow of all our old Hideaway flyers, even though we didn't have one really like coming up. But yeah, social media is everything right now because everybody's on their fucking phone all the time.
It's crazy.
Especially with events, everybody's like, okay, what's going on? Who do I talk to? They're texting, group chatting, group messaging on Instagram.
Vector.LA.
Vector.LA. I even know your shit. You don't even know your shit.
Sorry. Actually, I was exploring the possibility a couple years back of throwing a party where no phones were allowed.
That's been I've been hearing that a few times lately, where a couple places will just put like black tape over the camera, and I love that idea.
Yeah, we were venue hunting, and we ended up. Funny story. We ended up at like a sex dungeon in LA.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know the place.
Yeah.
There's a party there. There's like an event that they host there, right? Or was it just like someone's sex dungeon?
So there's a site, I forgot the name of the site, where it's like an Airbnb for like warehouses.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I forgot the name. And we found this place. We didn't tell from the pictures that it was a sex dungeon. So we hit up the guy. We went and checked it out. And we're like,
did he pick up like, hey, well, come on down and check it out? Or was it just like a normal like, hey?
No, it was a normal dude. Okay. Normal dude. Which was funny because it's like, this he has a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
So we went to the place and scoped out. Like, some shit has probably gone down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we I've heard of a few parties that have happened at that same spot. I don't think we tried to like book there because of whatever.
It was a dope spot though.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It's very niche though, because you got to kind of give people the heads up of what the fuck they're coming into. So if you're gonna try to market your brand,
but no phones allowed.
No phones allowed. Yeah, but I mean, for someone that like handles the social media, that's gonna kind of stifle content.
Yeah,
which is again it's not that big of a deal, because if you're doing no phones and people are just, you're encouraging people to be more present in that, that's great. That's good. But content wise, you're gonna have no videos, no photos, which is fine. Not a bad thing, because you're just gonna have another event where you can do that.
But that's your brand.
Right.
That then becomes your brand, and people associate like the mysterious side of not going in there and being on your phone and taking pictures as your brand. So there are people out there that'll like see like you can still have like promo videos that you put out. So if someone sees a promo video and they like what's being give them a portrayed in the video, they're like, okay, I want to go check this out.
So would that be no phones, and then even the person like the promoter to not have a camera, like a photographer? Or would that be?
I didn't think that deep into it, so I don't know. What do you think?
I think that I mean, again, I think the whole idea is for the people that are attending to not be on their phones, not record.
I mean, you got to get some content.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna put out video, and if you're gonna put out, I think the photos are maybe fine in limited quantities. If you were to like just put out, on Instagram, you can have 10 photos on that photo album. Maybe just do one post. Yeah. And kind of maybe recording a small video or something. If you can have like a videographer put something together.
As long as you can maintain that like mysterious aspect.
Right. Yeah, because if you have too much content, then it's like, well, what the fuck's the point? You might as well just have people posting videos. Shit. Yeah.
And now with like Instagram, people tag you and you can repost it. So it's like.
And save it. And I mean, social media is I mean, it's wild, man. It's really what a lot of people kind of bank on.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
Especially like, I mean, you know, for throwing a party, it's
Mm-hmm.
crucial for like advertising
Mm-hmm.
purposes and just reaching, you know, a large network of people in the area.
But I even realized, like, even with us doing this so long over the last couple of years, it's really hard to really get out to as many people as you want, because feeds, like, you'll refresh a feed and 6 new posts come on. So even if you put up a post, a lot of people are just not on their phones at the time and they miss it.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, we're still obviously navigating, like, how do you reach out to, I mean, there's always like that number where if you reach out to 10,000 people, you'll get 1,000 and some change response. You know, there's always
it isn't. I mean, you like to think of it as a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right. But there are some tactics where, like, if you really understand like the advertising tools that are available, like on Facebook and stuff, that can be of advantage.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really care. I've never taken the time to like learn all that stuff because I think it's annoying. I don't want to annoy someone that's on their phone, and it's good to like get the awareness out. But if I open my phone and every single time sponsored post by the same, I'm going to be annoyed.
That's the complete opposite for me. Cause for us, like we want to just in their face, just annoy the fuck out of them, just show people that way. Whenever it comes time to like, what's happening, you're like, I've seen this thing 50 times. What the fuck is going on? Like, I'm, you know, why not go check it out? But that can be a negative thing because people are like, fuck, dude, like, I'm tired of seeing this, unfollow, or fuck, man. All they do is blast the same shit.
It's about finding that balance, I think. So
yeah, it's, I mean, again, it's a numbers game. It's being present. I mean, social media, I mean, I think I've said it like 10 times already, is very important in what we do, even for DJs. Like, if your marketability is not great and if you don't have a good online presence and your personality doesn't translate to social media, it's going to be harder to...
And I can attest that because I consider myself to be a pretty quiet guy. And I try to, like, stay away from this stupid technology as much as possible, but you have to. Yeah. Which sucks, but you have to.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to fall behind.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, man.
Well, hopefully we don't fall behind, man. Don't fall back. Just don't fall too far behind. All right, man. Well, thank you for coming out, man.
This is
I
great.
appreciate it. Yeah, it was good having you on.
Shout out to you, Mr. Jabber. Jabber?
Yes.
Jabber.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome what you're doing. 900 Block is hot.
Block is hot.
The Scope on Facebook, the group that you started. You know, you're only doing this out of passion. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Keep it up, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.